Most people think transformation comes with effort, with striving, with the loud clamor of ambition, but the wise know, real change is like the falling of leaves in autumn, silent, effortless, and complete. There is a quiet way to live, a path not built by hands but revealed in stillness. It does not demand more from you, it asks for less. Less noise, less grasping, less illusion. This path is not far away. It lives in each breath you take. And yet, most never walk it, because they are busy chasing shadows in the dust. In the teachings of the Buddha, there are habits not merely for a better life, but for an awakened one. Habits not of doing, but of being, of seeing through the illusion of permanence, identity, and control. These are not tricks for productivity, nor methods for success. They are the gentle, timeless rhythms of those who walk with the earth instead of against it. The monks who rise before the sun not out of obligation, but reverence. The women who sweep temple steps with the same grace as those who sweep the mind clean of thought. The old master who smiles in silence, because there is nothing left to prove. The first of these habits is awareness, pure, unfiltered presence. To see a single raindrop without labeling it. To feel the warmth of your tea without telling a story about comfort. To watch the rising of anger in the chest like a red flame, without fanning it or running from it. This awareness is not dramatic. It is not exciting. It is not shared on social media. But it is the beginning of all liberation. The moment you truly see, without grasping, without rejecting, the knot of craving loosens a little. Another habit, often forgotten in modern life, is the honoring of impermanence. To greet the morning with gratitude, knowing it will not come again in this exact form. To listen to a friend's voice as if it were the last time. To hold no person too tightly, and to fear no goodbye. This is not coldness. It is love in its most spacious form, a love that does not cling, but frees. A love that blossoms only because it knows it cannot last forever. Transformation is not something to achieve. It is what remains when all that is false falls away. And these habits, these sacred patterns of attention, compassion, and letting go, they are the winds that carry the leaves to the forest floor. They teach you, gently, how to return to yourself. When you begin to live with such awareness, something remarkable begins to unfold. The mind, once a restless river of thought, begins to calm. And in its stillness, you start to hear the whisper of the present moment, a whisper that has always been there, waiting for you beneath the noise. The next habit is right speech. Not simply refraining from lies or cruelty, but speaking from silence, from clarity. Every word is a seed. What you say plants itself not just in others, but in the soil of your own being. To gossip is to poison your own peace. To speak with anger is to burn your own house. But when speech is slow, honest, and kind, even silence becomes illuminated. Then comes the habit of mindful action. To move with purpose, not haste. To bow your head when passing through a doorway. To place your shoes with care. To wash a bowl as if it were the last bowl on earth. These are not mere rituals, they are acts of sacred remembrance. Each gesture becomes a bell that rings you back to the now. In this way, the mundane becomes holy. Every step becomes a prayer. Do you know the feeling of rushing, of being pulled from one task to the next like a leaf in a storm? This is the life of one who has forgotten presence. But when mindfulness becomes your habit, you reclaim time. You walk slower, but arrive deeper. You do less, but become more. Another habit is contentment. Not the dull acceptance of mediocrity, but the radiant joy of simplicity. The Buddha sat beneath a tree. He ate from a single bowl. His possessions could fit in the palm of one hand. And yet, he was the wealthiest man in the world because he owned nothing and lacked nothing. To practice contentment is to release the endless hunger that eats away at modern life. It is to look at what you have, your breath, your limbs, the sky, and whisper, enough. It is to stop chasing, just for a moment, and let the world catch up to you. In that stillness, you find a kind of joy that no possession can offer, the joy of being free. These habits are not steps to follow. They are waters to enter. They soften you. They undo you. They teach you how to dwell in the truth, not with force, but with grace. In the heart of stillness, another habit arises, the practice of compassionate presence. Not as a performance, not as obligation, but as a natural flowering of a heart that has ceased its war with the world. To be compassionate is not to save others, nor to fix them. It is to sit beside them in their suffering without turning away. It is to see your own pain mirrored in their eyes and realize that separation was always an illusion. When you hold another's sorrow without needing to solve it, something vast opens, a doorway beyond words, beyond ego. In Buddhism, this is called karo, a compassion that does not come from pity, but from wisdom. It knows that all beings seek happiness, and all beings suffer. The monk feeding a stray dog from his alms bowl, the child who forgives her mother's silence, the woman who listens with her full presence, these are the silent masters of compassion. They do not wear robes, yet their hearts shine with the same ancient light. This compassion is not only directed outward. It must turn inward, too. Most people live with an inner voice like a whip, judging, scolding, never satisfied. But one of the most radical Buddhist habits is loving kindness toward the self. When your thoughts wander, you gently bring them back. When your body aches, you soften. When shame appears, you bow to it as a teacher. And then there is the habit of non-attachment, perhaps the most misunderstood. Non-attachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean turning cold or aloof. It means loving with open hands, holding nothing too tightly, including your own identity. The self you cling to, your name, your story, your wounds, is like a sandcastle built at the edge of the tide. Beautiful, yes, but impermanent. To know this is to be free. Not free from pain, but free within it. You can love deeply, and still let go. You can succeed, and still remain grounded. You can lose, and still not be lost. This is why the Zen masters laugh so often. They have tasted the great emptiness and found it full. They have seen the futility of grasping and discovered joy in the letting go. When the ego dissolves, even suffering becomes spacious. So you begin to live not as a person chasing peace, but as peace itself embodied in breath, in gesture, in gaze. Not seeking silence, but moving as silence. And now we arrive at the final turning, the habit of inner stillness. This is not the stillness of a paused moment, nor the silence that comes when words run dry. It is the vast, luminous silence that has no opposite. It is the ground beneath all sound, all thought, all form. The stillness that the mountains know. That the moon reflects. That the awakened one dwells in, unshaken by the dance of birth and death. In this stillness, you do not retreat from life, you meet it fully, without resistance. The noise of the world continues, but it no longer enters you. You walk through the market, you speak with others, you feel joy and sadness, and yet, within, you remain unmoved. Not numb, but vast. Not passive, but deeply aware. This habit of stillness is cultivated not by trying to stop the mind, but by no longer feeding its restlessness. You sit. You breathe. You watch the mind do what it does, and you do not interfere. Slowly, like silt settling in a clear pond, the turbulence fades. Thoughts arise like clouds, but they no longer block the sky. Feelings come and go, but they do not define you. You begin to sense the truth behind all teachings: you are not what you think you are. You are not your story. Not your roles. Not even your body. Beneath all of that is awareness itself, pure, clear, radiant. And when you begin to live from this place, life changes. Not on the outside, but in the very way it touches you. Time slows. Desire softens. The craving to become dissolves into the joy of simply being. And this is where all the habits converge: awareness, right speech, mindful action, contentment, compassion, non-attachment. They were never separate. They are different petals of the same flower. And the flower blooms only in the soil of stillness. You don't need to escape your life to walk this path. You don't need to wear robes or chant in temples. You need only to return again and again to the truth that has always been here. Right where you are. Transforming your life is not about adding more. It is about remembering what you are beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the endless seeking. The awakened one no longer seeks the world, for she has remembered the truth within.